Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. Comedian David Brenner. Yes Man Jon Anderson. Spiritualist James Van Praagh. And political analyst Naomi Lopez. And now, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you, very kind. Well, thank you very much, folks. I guess I know why you're in a good mood. They turned down school prayer. Maybe that puts you in a bad mood. Anyway, for the first time in 27 years, the House voted on this. It was a narrow vote, but they turned it down. They wanted to have an amendment. They had school prayer, so we could have prayer in the school, and the supporters are all ticked off. They say it's a sad state of affairs when the only time a kid prays is when some other kid walks into the cafeteria with a rifle. It's okay, no, please, I understand. Well, let's turn to sex. President Clinton, see how I got out of that quickly, right to sex? He is obviously feeling the heat now because in the Walensky case, they have some new lawyers, and whenever the Clintons feel under the gun, what they do is talk about their pets. It was in the news today that Hillary is editing a book about Socks the cat and Buddy, and yesterday Clinton was doing a fundraiser. He talked endlessly about his dog Buddy and how a buddy makes his life very difficult because he's always coming into the Oval Office when he's trying to do business. I'm not kidding. He said Buddy walks into the Oval Office with a bone in his mouth and an eager look on his face. It's like Monica never left. Oh, I kid the canines, but interesting study in the news. I didn't realize this. It said 1 million women a year, 1 million, are stalked. I didn't know that. And they said even if it isn't violent, it disrupts their lives. And when the stalking stops, it destroys their self-esteem. So, because, you know, the stalking makes them feel... Did I screw up a word there? Okay. Well, it sounded good to you, but you're just one. That's all right. I appreciate your support. Well, how many folks are from South Dakota, one of our sparsely populated states? There's a big controversy out there. I actually went on vacation there a couple of years ago, and I saw this monument where there's a controversy. It's the Crazy Horse Monument. Crazy Horse was the leader of the Lakota tribe. And it's right near Mount Rushmore, and they said, well, why shouldn't the Native Americans who populated this land have their own monument? So they've been building this for years and years, a 9-story tribute to Crazy Horse. Well, now the Native Americans are saying, well, it's not really a tribute, it's disrespect. I don't understand that at all. I think they're being too sensitive. In fact, they don't even want to call a Crazy Horse Crazy Horse. They want to call him Chemically Imbalanced Horse. I don't know. And finally, to follow up on the big story of yesterday, the vaccine that they are now testing for the AIDS virus. Do you know about this? They announced this yesterday, and it's actually gone out to the test cases. They're going to test a vaccine for AIDS, and they hope eventually to combine that vaccine for AIDS with Rogaine and Viagra and create a bunch of healthy, hairy, horny guys. All right, thanks for coming. It's all been satirized for your protection. All righty, let us bring our panel, the best-selling author of Talking to Heaven, a Medium's Message of Life After Death, James Van Praagh. James, there you are.
Hey, Bill.
How are you? Nice to see you again. She is a policy analyst for the Pacific Research Institute, Naomi Lopez. Naomi. Hello, young lady. Pleasure to meet you. The new Yes CD is Open Your Eyes. The tour is the Open Your Eyes Surround Sound Tour. The lead singer is the legendary Jon Anderson. Yeah. Hey.
Hey, Bill.
Great record. I was listening to it this morning. Terrific. Thank you. Comedian, author, actor, and Philadelphia's favorite son, Mr. David Brenner. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Okay. All right. Well, you're going to have to help me with this panel because there is a science issue that is big in the news, and I was never good at science. Were you? I bet you weren't.
Yeah, biology.
Really? Okay. Now, as you know, where science goes, lawyers follow. Okay. In a number of court cases this year, very recently, there have been custody battles over frozen embryos. Now, what happens is a couple is married, and they don't want to have a kid right away because they're yuppie scum. They want to get a jet ski this year. This is really why they do it. So what they do is the surgeon extracts the ova, which is the egg, and now they're left over. They combine it with the sperm in a petri dish, and this creates an embryo. Okay, now this couple has this on hold. They get divorced, okay? Now, women want to have this baby. I don't know why, but they do. But this is the battle. The women, the estranged wives, claim the right to implant the ova in their body and have a child.
From the guy they don't like.
From the guy who they divorced.
Right.
And the men are saying, no, because this makes me a parent against my will. Who's right?
Well, I personally, I mean, that's just me. If I got divorced, I wouldn't want my ex-wife to have my frozen Milky Ways.
Let alone, yes,
let
right.
alone my frozen kid.
But
I mean, I don't care if he's born with a stick in him or not. It's you know, I think that both parents have to, whether it's frozen or just lukewarm, you have to agree that you want to have the kid. And if he doesn't want to have the kid, that should be the end of the issue.
But that's not what the law says.
Well, you have to break the law. We have to go overboard.
Well, the reason, as unromantic as it sounds, you have to have a contract, or it's going to be up to the courts, or it'll be up to the
contract? What do you mean a contract?
Well, basically setting out who gets, you know, just like you would, who gets a house in Nantucket, who gets a Shar-Pei, who is going to get this.
You mean in a prenuptial agreement?
Yes.
Who's
yes.
going to get the dish?
Right.
I think you should clean out the freezer the minute you know you want to leave her.
Well, but they're not in the freezer. I mean, I know that's what it sounds like.
It does, doesn't it?
But they're in a freezer, right? I mean, that's what they are. They're frozen, and then they're, you know, it's like the whole system is sick.
I can't imagine a woman wanting to have a child of a divorced person that she doesn't like anymore, and the child's going to grow up and look like the guy.
What does that say?
Think like the
right.
guy, and she's going to start giving the child a hard time. What sound right to me.
I think if you start out life frozen, you're already having a hard time.
But the father has a right to this. I mean, he has to have a right. It's half him, for goodness sake. He has to have a right here, no matter what.
But a father does not have a right. If a woman gets, if a guy and a girl get together and she gets pregnant,
And then he leaves, right?
well, whatever happens, he has no right. If she wants to terminate, if she wants to have the baby, a man has no say. Why is that fair?
Oh, I think that's totally wrong. It has to
Really?
be, of course, has to be. I mean, it has to be half and half.
But that's not what the law is either.
Yeah, half and half. One's a yes, one's a no. That's half and half. And then you
Right.
wait 10 months, and that one half is gone.
And just the idea that they can...
This is all science, Bill. I told you I was good at it.
I know. See, that's what messes me up. Is I don't understand the science, that you can freeze, that you can do this, you can implant in the Petri dish and then freeze it and then take it out and serve.
Well, how about I take it a step further? Say the wife doesn't want it, the husband doesn't want it, but the wife decides to save it for someone in the future who might want it.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, your granddaughter is having your kid.
That could happen.
That could happen. I say we turn up the heat on all of these.
The last thing you want to do is leave it to the politicians to decide. If the courts are deciding and the politicians don't like those decisions, they're going to start creating their own laws. People need to decide this for themselves.
Since when are the courts not politicians?
Well, they certainly are, but we don't want to leave it to the ones in Washington.
It's the ones who invented the Petri dish that started all the trouble.
Yeah, right. All right, we have to take a commercial. We'll be right back.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, brought to you by AT&T.
Here we are in this simple, majestic setting. None of the usual interruptions. Nobody around to distract us from introducing AT&T One Rate Plus. Now, the key point, the thing to remember, is that every call you make from home with One Rate Plus, every call, day and night, 10 cents a minute.
Did you say 10 cents a minute, dude?
How do they find me?
AT&T One Rate Plus. 10 cents a minute, anytime. Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
They're at the top of the lane of the Derby, and Real Quiet gets the lead. Real Quiet wins the Kentucky Derby. Real Quiet to the front, and he's pulling away. Real Quiet, the Derby winner, gets the Preakness.
If you want to see Derby and Preakness winner Real Quiet try for the first Triple Crown in 20 years, bring your Visa card. Because you won't get past the gate at the Belmont Stakes using American Express. Visa, proud sponsor of the Visa Triple Crown Challenge.
Do you like legs? Well, here's an attractive set. All-you-can-eat snow crab legs at Red Lobster for only $14.99.
That's what I want. Legs.
Bottomless buckets of meaty, succulent snow crab legs. All you can eat at a price you can't resist. So shake a leg. And hurry in for all-you-can-eat snow crab legs. At Red Lobster, because life on land is dry.
Friday, beware. That fun outing on a charter bus could end in tragedy.
The tires begin to squeal, the bus begin to rock, and then it overturned.
2020 investigates. Don't miss 2020, Friday.
Hello, everybody. I'm Wally Kennedy. Tonight, more shocking information about the murder of Phil Hartman, plus one of the stars of The Truman Show and his Philadelphia fiancée.
Dentine Ice.
Dentine Ice.
Frosty outside, inside a chewing gum made to hold on to the cold.
Nothing's colder
Dentine Ice, now in cinnamon too. Nothing's colder than ice.
How's Max doing? He's doing okay. So how long before Max can play again?
Well, the vet said Max will be back to his old self in a couple of days.
Even the interior of the Chevy Blazer was designed to give you peace of mind.
Now choose low 1.9% APR financing or $1,000 cash back on Chevy Blazer. See your dealer today.
All right, we were talking about parenting in the weirdest way, and you just told me in the break you just had a son Thursday.
Last Thursday, I had
Wow,
third son.
right. Automatic applause.
Yeah. And, well, what we did, we didn't freeze him till after he was born. Whole different approach to it.
Could I ask, I want to get to the issue in a second, but why does that get automatic applause? You're a TV
I don't
veteran.
know.
I mean...
It's like saying it's like saying, well, I'm from New York. Why would they applaud? What do we care where you're from?
It's the easiest thing in the world to do.
I had a kid.
And they applaud like it's a big accomplishment. Hey, I screwed.
Right, yeah, right. By accident.
I don't know.
By accident.
Anyway, apparently parenthood is in such a bad shape. In the state of Mississippi, they are instituting a state program, and they're spending tax dollars, the tax dollars of Mississippi, to teach men to be better fathers. They have seminars where they have people who go from town to town, and they have seminars, pass out pamphlets, and then there are refreshments and strippers. No, but I'm wondering, do you think this is a good idea to spend state dollars, government, federal funds to teach people how to be parents? You do?
Beautiful. Education is great for children. You know, fathers, children teach the fathers so much if fathers listen. But most fathers,
they teach you how to go to the bathroom in your diaper, so when you get older, you can do it.
No, I've got 3 grown-up children, and they taught me who I was, how I am, and the way I feel.
But did you need to go to your state and get lessons from the state to learn how to be a father?
I wish I'd have been taught a little bit more and a bit earlier about how to rear children and help them teach you about
why is it only your father?
I think you have to learn the distinction, you know, between the government stopping and where they stop and you start. I mean, it has to be a personal thing. Once again, another personal issue where you have to take on the responsibility yourself and have the government teach you how to parent. I mean, it's up to that individual themselves, don't you think?
Right, exactly. Why in the world would we trust a state government that is responsible for those horrible DMV workers who can't even treat people politely to teach fathers how to be better fathers?
Good point.
Just depend what they're going to do.
Not to
They're
mention,
going to spend some
don't
money
you-
and literature and things like that.
But do you think the people who really need to go to this seminar would be the type to go, especially in Mississippi?
Right. And why? I don't understand. I mean, how much money are they putting up for this program? How much?
A lot of money.
I would rather see the money being spent with welfare programs in Mississippi and
I'll tell you what
education for
I'd rather
children.
you go up to one father and you say to him, listen, you are a good father. We're going to give you $50,000. Now you made one good father.
Like
It's the only way you're guaranteed. And who's teaching this? Are good fathers teaching good fathers? Who are the guys teaching it?
And how do you teach fatherhood?
How do you teach? And how do you teach to be a good?
If a guy is a bad father, is he the type of guy who's sitting there drinking a beer, watching monster truck rallies on ESPN? You know what? I'm going to go to this seminar tonight.
Yeah, right.
The
And the
skippers are
people
there,
who
so-
would go wouldn't need it.
And why is it only fathers? I come back to that. Why isn't it also mothers? I mean, you never see a father take a newborn kid, throw it in a garbage can. It's never been out in the news once. Why don't the mothers get out there?
You're right.
Why don't they? Yeah, what about bad mothers? And now we got bad mothers and bad fathers, and who are they being taught by? And what are they teaching them? I don't understand it. I wouldn't go. I'm a good father. I don't want to hear this guy. This guy could be a bum. I'd stand up and say, you're a bum. I don't like you. And I don't like your kids, and I never met them. Give me back the money, my tax dollars.
Well, and that's exactly to the point. I mean, let's
What
take
I
this
love
little...
about you is if you keep talking, you get to a joke.
Somehow.
It just...
Sometimes we give birth to the joke, too.
That's what I mean.
Look, let's take a little thought experiment. If you had $50,000, and this really is individuals' money because it's tax money, would you send it to the government to do anything, achieve any common societal good, or would you give it to charitable organizations who we all know would do a much better job than the government in any area?
I said yesterday on the show, I'm not even voting anymore. Not for Republicans and Democrats. And already I got faxes and calls, and people are all upset.
Why can't we have a list of charitable organizations or places where we want to put our tax money? It could be a list of what we want to, donate to instead of giving
Oh,
them.
no. Well, we can't do that.
Why can't we, though?
Well, why can't the government take care of its own workers? Why can't they stop the post office so we would go in there, you're not afraid of getting, like a guy pulling out a howitzer and blowing your brains out because you're buying a 32-cent stamp? Forget the fathers. I'll take a bad father anything, unless he works at a post office. Then I really don't want to
you know what? That's an easy target, the post office. I think the post office is one of the things that does well in the government. I mean, that's an
Compared
easy...
to the other activities that they pursue, right?
Well, look what their job is. And, you get a letter like 2 days after somebody sends it.
If you get it.
What do you mean if you
When you
get
think of the amount of mail, the pieces of mail that are processed each day,
They end
it's
up in
incredible.
dumpsters or
For
people's
32
houses.
cents? What can you buy for 32
They're
cents?
always finding mail in dumpsters. They're always finding mail in the back rooms of people who have 18 cats.
Did you see their statement they made? The post office said they delivered last year 92% of the mail on time. This year they're working on taking it to the right address.
All right, we have to take a commercial. We'll be back.
And now, the top reasons everyone is asking for Home Alone 3 on video. New death steps, new pet tricks, and most importantly, new safety tips. Buy Home Alone 3 on video today.
The new Saab 9.3 Turbo. Zero to 60 in 6.5 seconds. More importantly, back to zero even faster. Something we learned from Saab fighter planes.
In closing, Todd,
We think it's extremely insulting.
that some people get the best
A
equipment,
think pad.
but we have to schlep around these slow, ugly, cheesy pieces of...
You can't write that.
So nice working for you, Todd. Enjoy the rest of your silly political little life.
What are you doing, Phil?
Period. Sad.
It's your new ThinkPad.
Unsend.
Unsend.
ThinkPad. It's what they want. And now you can afford to give it to them.
Can a stick of gum break the ice?
Icebreakers. Taste it.
Ooh, my breath feels a lot fresher.
Because of these tiny mint capsules.
They release these special breath fresheners.
Breath fresheners in a gum. Wow.
Wow.
Icebreakers gum. It really breaks the ice.
Will Real Quiet be the first horse in 20 years to win it all? The Visa Triple Crown Challenge, the Belmont Stakes, Saturday live at 4:30 on ABC.
The Men's Warehouse opens in Philadelphia.
Hi, I'm George Zimmer, president and founder of the Men's Warehouse. We keep growing in cities across America because people like the way we do business. This suit at the Men's Warehouse is only $250. At Strawbridge's, the regular price of the same designer suit is $375. Those are the facts. I guarantee it.
The Men's Warehouse. 5 Philadelphia area stores, including our newest location at Cotman Bustleton Shopping Center.
Being on SportsCenter does take its toll.
For Kenny Mayne, I'm Dan Patrick. Good night.
Once we finish a show, we do it all over again for the overseas markets.
Buenas noches, amigos. Me llamo Kenny Mayne.
Same highlights, same anchors, different dialects.
Dos Vidania. Menja Zabut, Boris Patrick. Vut, Kenny Mainsky.
To touch people all over the world, that's special.
Something big is happening at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. It's the Ford Big Time Sales Event. Get the biggest savings of the year, like up to $2,500 cash back on Windstar for all Ford, GM, and Chrysler owners. Plus, Ford and GM owners can save big time on almost every Ford car and truck in stock. Your Quality Plus Ford dealer wants your business big time. So save big at the Ford Big Time Sales Event. Going on now at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
All right, you know, we have talked about the TWA 800 tragedy a couple of times, but yesterday there was a new wrinkle in the case because a judge ruled that the families of the victims can now sue Boeing, TWA, and probably In-Flight Magazine and anybody else who was involved for not just compensation, but pain and suffering. And I'm wondering if anybody thinks that that is anywhere near a good idea.
I don't think it's, look, I feel very sorry for everybody involved in that, you know, and all that. But, you know, there comes a point in life where you've got to just say, you know, this is life giving you a dirty deal.
Right.
I mean, when I was a kid, if you were walking and you banged your head on an awning of a store because it was too low, you went in and you told the owner, what's wrong with your awning? Lift your awning. There were no lawyers in my neighborhood. You didn't go right away and get a lawyer. I bumped my head. The awning is too... I think it's tough. And, you know, how come people don't sue with weather? I mean, God's in control of weather. He's more sensible than a pilot.
They
than
will.
a controller.
They will sue
yeah,
God
sue God.
soon.
A tornado came through. My mobile home's gone. God, I'm suing him.
Because when the attitude now, as you say, is when something causes suffering, somebody must pay.
Well,
even
we live in a litigious society, so anything that they can do to get money, that's the way it is, unfortunately, in our society right now. I think that, no, I don't think, I mean, I feel for these people very much so, and I worked with people from that catastrophe, that horrible thing. But, no, I think that there comes to a point where you have to say
because
no.
they did a lot of work to recover most of this plane.
They did
more
everything.
than they could.
Any crash ever.
They couldn't find any reason, okay? A frayed wire, they think. But, you know, wires fray sometimes.
But Bill, also,
this is not going to teach TWA a lesson not to blow up their plane.
I can understand, though, if the government or, you know, who's ever responsible, if they would help them with therapy, for instance, let's pay for a year of therapy for these people, that seems to be more constructive in certain ways.
It's like a new job for you.
I've already done that, but, yeah.
I think they should give each one a frozen embryo.
So you're combining,
wrapping it all up.
a thread in all of our...
What I feel about the losing of someone in this life and continually thinking about it and trying to not make money out of it, but just to actually keep constantly referring to it. It's not letting go of the problem. You've got to let go of these terrible things that happen.
You got to let go. You got to realize, right, that
sacrifice.
There's not always someone to blame.
Right.
We assume risk in everything we do, and if anyone got on the plane without considering or without realizing that the plane could go down, I mean, I don't know where their mind was. But
what can the airlines do? They can't say, hey, we could crash. Come on, have coffee. We might go down. Hey, come on, take a seat. I mean,
there's no way to avoid risk. I mean, if you live on the West Coast, you're going to get hit by an earthquake. If you live in the Midwest, you're going to get hit by a tornado. I mean, there is not always someone to blame, and we assume risk in everything we do, whether we're walking down the street or geting on an airplane.
And sometimes there is negligence. I think in the shuttle disaster, there was that O-ring thing, and certainly the mayor in Jaws should have should have closed the beach, but there was right. No, I'm not kidding.
3-minute film, right?
Exactly. But this doesn't seem like the same case. It doesn't seem like TWA did anything. And if you put that many heavy metal objects in the sky once in a while, one is going to blow up.
Still safer than driving.
But I think the old lady that burned her crotch with the coffee should have gotten something. That to me was really horrible.
A new cup of coffee?
Yeah, something. Yeah, free coffee for a month.
Or a
Keep
new
it above
crotch.
your lap.
And she can't have the frozen embryo thing now.
No, the heat.
It's gone.
It's a heat factor.
Melted the whole embryo. Okay, we got to take a commercial. We'll be right back.
Claritin. Escape sneezing, runny nose, itchy eyes.
Blue sky smiling at me.
Only one tablet means 24-hour non-drowsy seasonal allergy relief. Claritin, the #1 prescription antihistamine for ages 6 and over. Claritin has a low occurrence of side effects, including headache, drowsiness, fatigue, and dry mouth. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about Claritin. Call 1-800-CLARITIN.
Sprint introduces a world in which time doesn't matter. Introducing a dime anytime. A world in which you're free to call whenever you want for just 10 cents a minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now anytime is the best time to call. So stop watching the clock and start enjoying your calls. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP for a dime anytime.
She was a teenage rebel
A girl could get in trouble in here.
who got mixed up with the wrong crowd.
You're gonna make a lot of money on that one.
Eric loves me. He's using you.
Her mother had no choice
Tell me how to be sexy.
but to go undercover.
Have you seen this girl?
Inspired by actual events.
I want her back.
Lindsay Wagner in Fighting for My Daughter, ABC Sunday. With Subaru all-wheel drive, you're free to go where you want, when you want, no matter what the weather. And right now, during Subaru all-wheel drive days, you're also free to choose between 2 great offers. There's low 2.9% APR financing or low monthly lease payments. Whichever you choose, you'll love the freedom that a Subaru with all-wheel drive can give you. Better hurry, though. All-wheel drive days are ending soon. So take a test drive today at your Philadelphia area Subaru dealer.
Coors Light is proud to sponsor the 13th annual Manayunk Main Street Stroll Friday, June 5th. Beginning at 5 p.m., Main Street comes alive with curbside entertainment, autograph signings, fine foods, great shopping, and much more. And don't forget, following the stroll, Coors Light reminds you that the fun continues at the River City Diner in La Bus. Be there.
I was driving in my Chevy Cavalier when, wow, there it was. I know a smart buy when I see it. From old chairs which need a little work to my new Chevy Cavalier. Hey, at only $199 a month for 36 months with a $598 initial payment, my Cavalier leaves plenty for my bargain hunting. I get automatic, air, ABS, all for $199 a month. Pretty snazzy. So my Cavalier might just be my best find ever.
Lease for $199 a month or buy and get 1.9 financing or $1,000 cash back. Shop Chevy now.
Join us tomorrow when our guests will be Adam West, Kristen Davis, John Fugelsang, and Justin Armour.
Okay, we just got a couple of seconds. James, you're the guy who talks to the dead. Have you talked to Frank Sinatra or Barry Goldwater or any of the recently...
No, I'm waiting. They're waiting in line for from
You're waiting in
If
line.
you talk to my grandmother, tell her I still hate her, she's still a bitch, okay? Just in case.
Your